This is exactly the place where they bring the dead bodies when people pass away. It's a sacred graveyard.
This would have to be the most freakiest, scariest place of my life that I've ever been to. This is so freaky, knowing that I've got dead skulls behind me.
But then just over here amongst the rubbish is actually a full dead body that, to be honest, hasn't fully gone into the skeleton phase just yet.
We're finally at the graveyard, guys, after 30 minutes of travelling in the boat, looking at some pretty cool scenery. This is going to be really exciting. I'm actually very intrigued to see what the heck's going to happen here.
Alright, so we just made it to Troy Yen, and this is exactly the place where they bring the dead bodies when people pass away. It's a sacred graveyard, so I'm not too sure what we're going to see, to be honest. Definitely we're going to see skeletons. Whether or not we'll see any fresh bodies, we will see. But generally, the place is completely empty. It's silent, absolutely silent. So let's go see what we're going to find. I'm curious. I am very curious. So when Josh gets his arse in gear, we're going to go check out what it's all about and show you guys.
Hey. Yeah, we're just about to sign into the graveyard. What's the date today, Chris?
18th of February.
18th of February.
It is indeed.
2024, yeah?
That's the one. So, you ready for this?
Oh, absolutely. I'm excited. Hey, Chris. I would have to say this would have to be the most freakiest, scariest place of my life that I've ever been to. Wouldn't you say?
I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that.
Plus, you have to be dead to get in here. Let's go.
We should all get here.
They're like Chinese things. I reckon this would have to be a part of the spine.
So, it's not what I expected. Up here, we've got a couple of wooden dens, and at the moment I can see a boot. So let's maybe go see how fresh they are. I'm not sure. There's a ton of flies around. But yeah, it's a little bit different from what I thought. Even though it's sacred, there's a lot of rubbish as well. But yeah, it's very different to what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, but yeah.
Oh, look. I'm definitely walking around with the dead people. This is so freaky, knowing that I've got dead skulls behind me. This is just crazy. They say in this area that the people walk around, the dead people walk around, and they walk themselves to the grave.
Really?
I'm pretty sure they do.
Oh.
Isn't that what you told me?
No, that's in a different area.
Oh, different area.
Alright, so it's not as big as what I thought it would be. So we've got, I don't know, maybe 10 wooden huts here with, I'm guessing, the most recent people, photos in front of them, and you can pretty much see their whole body. the skeleton side of them. So I'm guessing these are the most recent people. We've got the skeletons behind you, but then just over here amongst the rubbish is actually a full dead body that, to be honest, hasn't fully gone into the skeleton phase just yet. So I'm guessing that's probably relatively fresh, but I don't know what it's doing over there in the rubbish pile. But it ends where Josh is standing right now. That's where the whole thing ends. So it's not as big as what I thought it would be.
And the funny thing is, it doesn't smell.
True. Yeah. The funny thing is, it does't smell. There's
At
a lot
all.
of flies, but there's flies on this whole island. But yeah, the funny thing is that there is no smell to these. It's yeah, it's a bit strange. It's a little bit strange, but interesting. Very interesting.
So this is the dead body that Chris was just talking about, and there's also a few more down there as well. So this one hasn't been decomposed as yet, so it hasn't gone to the bones. But hopefully this person had a really good life, and rest in peace. Alright Chris, I must say that this place, when we went in there, that was the most freakiest place I've ever been in the world. What are your thoughts?
I completely agree. Yeah, something very different from the normal and something I wasn't really expecting. So just to give you guys a bit of history about this place. So it's actually protected by UNESCO, and it's not so much the cemetery is protected, but the tree inside. And basically there is one tree in there which back in the 11th century kind of gave off this amazing smell which reached over to the other island, the Java island. And there was pretty much basically a war about it. Some people wanted to actually get to the tree and, you know, be able to take apart that tree. But I guess the king of Bali, or of this piece of land, decided that no, they wouldn't let this happen. And that's when they started to put dead bodies here to kind of like neutralize the smell of the tree. And the only reason they wanted the tree was because it smelled so great.
So good, yeah.
But this is the only tree now of this kind in this island, and possibly, I believe, the biggest possibly in the world, or in this kind of area anyway. That's why it's completely protected by UNESCO. But yeah, you go inside and it's different. It's maybe not as big as what I imagined it to be, but it really shows that, you know, there's these people bringing their passed away relatives here to lay them down, and there's lots of stuff in there, from money, toothbrushes, kind of tons of different belongings. Yeah, it's a bit of
And
an
that tree was like 1,100 years old as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's old.
No, it
Very
really
old.
is. And there are specific rules. So as you come in, you just have to obviously sign in at the book. And today when we signed in, well, there was about 5 names under us.
Yeah.
You know, so not many people actually come here, but there are rules when you want to come in here as well, which are quite strict and slightly strange, which I'm sure we'll show you guys. But yeah, it's a different experience.
Yeah, I sort of a gulp moment when I walked in there, and a shiver. I actually got a, you know, did you get that as well?
It's a little bit freaky, especially the fact that you can see the actual skeletons.
Yeah.
And relatively new
Flesh.
skeletons.
Yeah, yeah.
There is still some flesh on the bones. Yeah, strange one.
The other thing I wanted to say as well is basically when you come into this world, you're happy. And I think when you get to the end of your life, you want to know that you've done really good, and you want to be able to be buried like this, knowing that you can leave a legacy behind, being happy.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
I think it's that point where, you know, they're still bringing their dead relatives here, you know, to kind of celebrate them in a way. The fact that, you know, I guess there are so many people in the world who don't really get that opportunity, or, you know, there are bodies unclaimed. I don't want to get too deep in this,
Yeah.
but, you know, still you have your relatives here who bring your body here, like they get a boat across the river or across the lake, and they go to the effort of providing plenty of things there, building you a little wooden hut, everything,
Yeah.
just to kind of still celebrate your death. It's, yeah, quite a magical experience.
I also heard as well, I'm not quite sure exactly where it is, maybe not here, but in some places in Indonesia, they actually pull up the dead bodies again and spend the day with them. That is, yeah, that's quite insane as well.
Yes.
But I'm not sure if that happens here or not.
Exactly, it's a different culture,
Yeah.
very different culture.
that's a wrap for this episode today at the graveyard. We're going to leave the island and let these guys to rest. So it's been quite an adventure today in knowing all this knowledge, and I hope you guys really got some good knowledge out of it as well. So I hope you can leave a good legacy in the future when you guys do pass as well. See you on the next one.